Hey YouTube, MrRampro here, and I wanted to do a video on the sod buster, and actually they refer to it as the Bullnose or farm and field tool from GEC, Great Eastern Cutlery, and they've really done a great job of kind of updating and giving some new options to the sod buster, which is a really popular work knife. You can buy this particular model at like Lowe's and stuff like that. This one here is a commemorative kind of deal from Tracy Trucking. It's part of the collection. I just put it out here for something different. But anyways, GEC's really done a great job as far as bringing a new sod buster type knife to the market for everybody to use, for everybody to touch and play with, and at a pretty reasonable price point too. They're usually coming in at about $55, and I'll show you real quick. This is the one that I've been just beating on, thrashing. I kind of played around with putting a pattern on it. It got burned a little bit here. Let's see if I can zoom in. Kind of got burned a little too hot to the fire, or too close to the fire right there. But here is the orange packaging. And, you know, GEC knives, if you guys are watching this video, chances are you're familiar with it. They usually come, or they do come in these tubes, unless they're something that GEC made for a different company, kind of like a Bulldog brand or something like that. Some of theirs come in boxes, but these tubes are really unique. This one here's for the black, this one here's for the orange. And the sod buster itself is really comparable in size to the Sod Buster Jr. from Case, which is what you had compared to it right here. So really comparable in size there. Let's get those to focus up a little bit. Now it's almost like maybe like the middle. I mean, you're probably total maybe a half of an inch shorter, maybe 3/8, something like that. But really comparable in size, and as far as just feel, really good. You do have the CV version, which is the chrome vanadium from Case. You do have that, but it's available in yellow only, except for a couple of models. I think there's maybe a couple of special editions out there that I've come across that have carbon steel blades on non-yellow handled knives. But you do get the option of having the black or the orange, and you also have what they call a night bright, which is a glow-in-the-dark type of acrylic, and I do not have that option here, or that one available here for you to see. I'm still kind of looking for one. I haven't really looked really hard, but I'm sure it's out there, and I'll have to pick it up for the collection sometime soon. But you can see here, comparable wise to the Case Sod Buster Jr. size, these feature the 01 tool steel that really takes a nice patina. Now you can see here this one gets really dark, and what's really nice about this particular knife, and I really liked it about GEC, was the fact that their liners and backspacer are all the same carbon steel, so you don't have to worry about, and I just think it's just really for looks, but when you have a Case knife that you've been using a while, your blade's all dirty and patinaed, but your backspacer, everything else, all your liners, everything looks, you know, brand new and stainless. And you do have two different types of steel here, which, I mean, doesn't really affect lockup, you know, kind of like what you would think with a lock bar or something, but just overall, just the actual look of it looks kind of tacky, in my opinion. So, the fact that this entire knife kind of just changes with you, you know, is really pretty cool as far as, you know, all the handle materials and everything changing too. So, this is the beat up one. We'll get back to the pretty ones now. I have noticed that it's really slick when you get it. You can see that there's a really high polish on this. And if you were to take like some 600 grit sandpaper and kind of hit the hardware and everything, it'll add a little bit of texture to it, kind of make it a little less slippery in wet conditions and stuff like that. But overall, a great utility knife, great work knife. I do like this blade shape and this design, especially on a slip joint, because when you go down with this work type blade and you're pushing down on something, You do still get a little bit of penetration, but you're not really going to be so inclined to use that tip so hard that you're going to overcome the locking feature, like in the back spring. So I think, I mean, if you put something super sharp, you're more inclined to push down and cut with this blade shape than you are to push and do any kind of penetrating cut, which could possibly cause the lock to fail. So, anyways, I think that's really about it. Overall, like I said, I always use collectorknives.net. They've been really good as far as getting me out the products that I like and everything like that. And they seem to have a really reasonable selection and prices on everything. The art is really nice on these tubes and everything like that, and you can see here there's the model number for the black one, 715112, and then the orange is a 715112. But I guess you would figure that they would change part of it just like they do all the other models, but I guess not. Oh well, either that or it's a miswritten label from the company. But either way, usually some excuse me, gosh. Usually some portion of this serial number or this model number, implies handle material or something like that. I wanted to give you real quick too a couple of comparisons. If you're familiar with GEC, this is the 72. You can see that right there it is fairly comparable. See if I can get the light to kind of play in our favor a little bit, because there we go. Okay, you can see it's extremely comparable to that one. The 72 lockback model down here on the bottom. And let's see. I'm trying to think of something. I want to keep them traditional, so I apologize. Just for grins, and I know not too many people are going to care about this comparison, but just because. Here's a size comparison with a small Sabenza and Singo. It's extremely comparable. So if you were to consider the small Sabenza a very EDC-able blade, or something like that, if you're familiar with it, or if you have one, these are getting fairly popular, so I'd imagine quite a few people have these now. You can see that the size is extremely comparable. So, that's about what you're looking like. Or if you're in the modern knife world and you don't have any traditionals and you're just kind of curious, you can go that route too. Now I will also, and of course I grabbed the black one, that's not the one I wanted to grab. I was going to compare it to a case, or no, I'm sorry, this is a Queen Country Cousin. I just got these in yesterday or day before, so we will go ahead and move these out of the way and just give you a comparison. There's the Queen in yellow. You can see the blade stamps and everything. That's what I really like about these sod busters. I mean, you can see the faint stamp down here, but I just think it's really cool. They got quite a bit of character, and there's just always something kind of different with them, and they're extremely cheap. I mean, I've got my collection now, probably 40-something plus sod busters and or sod buster type knives, work knives, and I mean, it's not a very expensive collection to have to maintain or to have to start. So I mean, it's definitely worth looking into. I wanted to pick just one pattern. My wife kind of steered me in that direction as far as just picking one pattern to stick with. But it's definitely a lot of fun, kind of doing the random looks and searches, and you just kind of bored at work one day and bring it up on Google. Oh wow, I just found this one or whatever. And that's kind of how I found this one here. I'll show you as a comparison real quick. These are the 3 Queens that I got the other day. And this one here is really cool. Got a different blade stamp on it. But it's a green canvas micarta. Really sweet. Feels really nice. Really, really liking that one. Fit and finish on it's a little bit more than these Country Cousins. Looks really awesome. I didn't notice that before, but it looks like it's got thicker stainless liners in it. It's got a 2-part bird's eye rivet, and actually that might not be a bird's eye rivet, it might just be a big old pivot rivet. But either way, these are on another video, so I apologize. This knife here, of course, you can see here, is used quite frequently. I took a drill bit one day bored, just kind of started doing a pattern on it. Didn't turn out very well, but it honestly didn't bother me too much. I used the piss out of this knife. This is like become my garden knife, become my my go-to fishing knife. Just kind of become my go-to knife as far as just beating it up and not caring about it. At $50, you really can't go wrong with it at all. And you get a really nice knife made in the United States that has really high quality. I think that you would be hard pressed to find anything comparable in quality to what GEC is putting out nowadays, shy from, honestly, Queen or some of Case's higher end things. Case's regular production, I don't think you're getting close at all. But you get into some of Case's higher end items and stuff like that, and I think you're gonna get right on the money with it. But I really like the fact that GEC's got the strong lockup and everything like that. And I know that I'm rambling, not just doing a review on this, but they don't skimp when it comes down to their cheaper plastic handled knives too. You know what I mean? So you do have your $120 traditional knives that have great quality, great fit and finish, the long pulls and everything like that, you know, really nice bone jigging and all that. And definitely worth the money with the extra bolster details and stuff like that. The shield is kind of unique. And then you get a $50 knife that's extremely comparable in handle shape. You've got the same function as far as lanyard holes. You've really got an extremely comparable overall, shy from a little bit on the tip. You've got an extremely comparable blade shape, but you're talking $50 compared to $125. And the fit and finish on this $50 knife is comparable to the $125 knife. You know, so I mean, you get a little bit different material, a little bit more sturdy. It puts up with all my beatings and bangings, so I guess that's should attest to its strength there. But anyways, you guys be good. If you're interested in a work knife that's fairly cheap, it's good, high quality, I would definitely look at the GEC Bullnose knives. They're part of the Farm and Field line that they have. Well, now they've got the Hay and Helper, and they've got I think a fishing knife. They've got quite a few different knives now. They're just work utility knives. All of them are made with the black Darylin, the orange, seen here, or the Night Bright, the glow-in-the-dark stuff that I don't have with me. So you guys check them out. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.